TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Flu vaccinations for high-risk group begin in the Sultanate. Oman to witness rare astronomical phenomena. More than 45,000 expats apply to leave Oman. Awareness key to fast adoption of reusable bags in the Sultanate. Australia COVID-19 cluster continues to grow, affected region under lockdown. Macaroon's condition stable after COVID-19 infection. Africa's COVID-19 cases top 2.46 million as death toll passes over 58,000. New tighter COVID restrictions for London and parts of England. Russia Olympic ban upheld but reduced to 2 years. India recorded their lowest score in Test cricket. Pakistan team arrives in Hamilton for second T20I. These were the top headlines for the day. Let's see how the weather looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
Hi, my name is Maitha El-Shukaili for today's weather update. And right now, I'm outside the TFM studio in Al Khoir. Before we move on to weather, here's an interesting fact for the day. Did you know that a cubic mile of an ordinary fog contains less than a gallon of water? That's our fact for the day. Now join me inside the studio and let's take a look at how the weather will be like in the Sultanate. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Public Authority for Civil Aviation saying that the visibility may reduce due to the fog patches. And with that, there will be clear to partly cloudy skies in Al Musandam, Al Wusta, and Al Dhafar, with chances of isolated rain in Al Musandam and mainly clear skies over the Sultanate, with chances of high clouds advection, and chances of late night and early morning low-level clouds in South Al-Sharqiyya, Al-Wusta, and Al-Dhafar governorates. And with that, let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 16 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 17 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 16 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 15 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 25 to 16 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 14 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 25 to 14 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 12 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 16 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 19 degrees Celsius. And Dhafar will also be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 14 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now let's go straight to the COVID updates for the day. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 5 new death cases over the period of 72 hours in the Sultanate today. This has taken the total death cases in Oman to 1,488. The Ministry of Health officials has also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, in the past 72 hours, the Ministry of Health has also registered 648 new coronavirus cases. The total cases in the country have now touched 127,667, including 119,574 recoveries and 1,488 deaths. Again, in the past 72 hours, 565 recoveries were also reported. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. The Ministry of Health has begun distributing the seasonal flu vaccine for groups at risk in the Sultanate and has called on community groups to respond and take the vaccine. We seek to maximize the coverage rate of the target groups to reduce the spread of seasonal influenza, Dr. Fatima Al-Yaqoubi, the head of the Tuberculosis and Acute Respiratory Diseases Department at the Infectious Disease Department, stated. She continued saying that the influenza vaccine is a safe and effective vaccine that has been used for more than 50 years now, and its importance lies in protecting high-risk groups and those vulnerable to complications. The seasonal flu vaccination does not prevent infection from COVID-19, but it reduces the severity of symptoms and must be taken alongside the COVID-19 vaccine. She also explained that the vaccine helps to avoid complications of seasonal influenza in the groups most at risk of disease, and it has been shown to reduce the risk of flu illness, hospitalization, and death. The categories covered by the seasonal influenza vaccination are health workers, the elderly over 65 years of age, those with chronic diseases, those with heart disease, kidney and intestinal diseases, and pregnant women. Dr. Fatma added that vaccination is not compulsory, but we recommend the vaccine for the target groups to avoid catching influenza and its subsequent complications. It is provided annually in Oman to the high-risk group. The vaccine must be taken annually because the nature of virus changes every year. The vaccine costs in between 7 and 10 Omani riyals in the private hospitals. However, this year there is pressure on the request for the vaccine. The first batch has arrived and other batches are awaited. Now, Oman, along with other parts of the world, will witness on Monday two astronomical phenomena, a rare event coinciding with the winter solstice. At 2:02 p.m. on December 21st, which is tomorrow, Oman, the skies above the rest of the Arab world and parts of the northern hemisphere will witness what's called the Great Conjunction. This rare astronomical event will see Jupiter and Saturn line up very close to each other, according to Faisal bin Muhammad Al-Qartubi, the Deputy Chairman of Astronomical Observations at the Oman Astronomical Society. He said that the two will be separated by a distance of 0.1 degrees or 6 arc minutes. As for the real distance between these two planets, it will actually be about hundreds of millions of kilometers. This phenomena can be observed when you look at the horizon in a southwest direction. This phenomena will last for nearly 2 hours. This event, involving the close proximity of the two giants of the solar system, has not occurred since March 2026 and will not be repeated until 2080, according to Al-Qartubi. He said that the reason it's called the Great Conjunction is because this involves the two largest planets in our solar system. Given the rarity of this event, the astronomical phenomena is considered a great one of the astronomers to record and preserve for posterity. They will be able to capture in the same lens both Jupiter and Saturn. Now, adding to this, Isam bin Ali al-Salhi, a member of the Oman Astronomical Society, said, Monday will have the shortest duration of daytime this year and the longest amount of nighttime. The sun will rise from the southeast at 6:45 a.m., reach its peak at 12:05 in the afternoon, and then set in the southwest at 5:25 p.m. More than 45,000 expatriate workers in the Sultanate have applied between November 15 and December 14 to rectify their status and permanently leave Oman. The number of expats wishing to correct their situation and leave Oman permanently have been between November 15 and December 14 reached 45,715. Salim bin Saeed Al-Badi, who's the Director General of Labor Welfare at the Ministry of Labor, explained, there is a high turnout by employers and expats wishing to benefit from the correction period and wanting to leave the country. All expats who wish to rectify their conditions have the right to leave the country permanently and benefit from this period, as employers and workers will be exempted from all fines and fees arising from their work permits, provided they leave the Sultanate permanently. He also said that the Ministry of Labor has a clear and specific vision regarding the grace period, which is to give the opportunity to the non-Omani workforce and employers who wish to amend their status and remove the obstacles that hinder them, stressing the positive repercussions of the decision in reducing the number of non-Omani workforce and thus creating a balance in the labor market. He continued explaining that the grace period is temporary and exceptional. The facilities established under the permit decision will not be effective after the date of December 31st, 2020, and the offenders will bear the financial burdens and fines legally determined upon the expiration of the corrective period. Now, the ministry has also issued its instructions to those concerned to receive the request of all those who express their desire to rectify their situation within the prescribed legal period and to speedily complete their transactions in accordance with the declared regulations and procedures, he added. Oman's environment will greatly benefit from the decision to ban single-use plastic bags, which comes into effect next year, the country's Environment Authority has said. The decision to ban the use of plastic bags come into effect from January 1st, 2021, with the authority spreading awareness on reusable bags and where they can be bought. Multiple-use bags are made of different materials, such as cloth, paper, and jute, and can be found in malls and shopping centers, said the government body in its advisory. They continued saying that they can also be used up to 100 times before being discarded. They are strong, heavy, and at least 50 microns thick. On the contrary, added the Environment Authority, single-use plastic bags are made from two types of plastic, a lighter and a heavier version. More common is the lighter variety, which is why bags made from them easily float in the air. On their environmental impact, the organization said these bags are responsible for harming more than 100,000 species of animals and birds and kill more than 267 animals every year. To break them down and decompose is a big challenge, as it can take nearly 1,000 years from them to do so. Now, getting rid of plastic bags by burning results in the formation of chemical compounds that take the form of black clouds that lead to air pollution that affects the human respiratory system, according to the authorities. There are 12 days remaining until the ban on single-use plastic bags is implemented, in keeping with the Royal Decree number 23/2020. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now continuing the stories from our international desk. An outbreak of COVID-19 in Australia's biggest city of Sydney continued to grow on Saturday as the number of cases believed to be linked to the cluster surged to 38. The Health Department of the State of New South Wales, that is known as NSW, said in a press release that 23 locally acquired cases were recorded in the 24 hours, including 10 that were reported Friday, and an additional 7 cases in return travelers in hotel quarantine. Among the newly reported locally acquired cases, 21 cases were related to the cluster and 2 cases infection source, and potential links to other cases were still under investigation, NSW Premier said in a press conference. All residents of northern beaches where the COVID-19 cluster occurred were urged to stay at home from 5 p.m. local time Saturday until midnight of December 23, 2020, unless they are permitted to leave for certain reasons, such as essential shopping, medical care, exercise, or work. NSW Premier also warned the state of possible stricter restrictions that may be imposed on Sunday. Following the increase of cases, the neighbouring state of Queensland further tightened its border restrictions on Saturday. Emmanuel Macron's condition is stable, the French presidency said on Saturday, 2 days after the president tested positive for COVID-19. The medical condition of the president is stable. He presents similar COVID-19 symptoms, which do not prevent him from fulfilling his obligation, said the Elias in a statement. Macron started working in self-isolation from an official residence outside Paris on Thursday after the diagnosis established by RT-PCR tests carried out as soon as the first symptoms appear, said his office. On Friday, the French president said in a live video on Twitter that he was doing fine but was working at a slower pace. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the African continent reached 2,469,101 as of Saturday, as the death toll due to the pandemic climbed to 58,313. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, known as Africa CDC, said in a statement. The Africa CDC Specialized Healthcare Agency of the African Union Commission further said a total of 2,083,189 people infected with COVID-19 have recovered across the continent as of Saturday. The most affected African countries in terms of the number of positive cases include South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Ethiopia, figures from the Africa CDC showed. South Africa currently has the most COVID-19 cases in Africa, with 901,530 confirmed cases. The country also accounted for the highest number of COVID-19 related deaths in Africa at 24,285. Morocco comes next with 412,393 confirmed cases and 6,854 deaths, followed by Egypt with 124,280 confirmed cases and 7,041 deaths, Africa CDC said. Ethiopia, East Africa's most COVID-19 affected country and Africa's fourth most affected country, has so far 119,025 confirmed cases and 1,843 COVID-19 inflicted deaths. The Africa CDC noting that the COVID-19 pandemic continues to evolve across Africa, also stressed that there is a need for African Union member states to re-evaluate, re-strategize, and reinvigorate their COVID-19 response activities across the continent to ensure the countries are prepared to handle an inevitable second and potentially third wave of cases. Now, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Saturday announced a new Tier 4 of coronavirus restrictions for London and other parts of England to combat an alarming surge in infections linked to a new virulent strain. The planned relaxation of coronavirus rules for Christmas is scrapped for a large part of southeast England and cut to 1 day for the rest of the region, Johnson said at a virtual press conference at Downing Street. From Sunday morning, London, the southeast and east of England will move into Tier 4 restrictions, which will be broadly similar to national restrictions introduced in England in November, he said. Under the new tougher measures, residents in those areas must stay at home with limited exemptions. People are also urged to work from home when they can and should not enter or leave Tier 4 areas. The restrictions will last for 2 weeks and will again be reviewed on December 30th, 2020, Johnson said. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from our sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Now from a sports desk. The Court of Arbitration for Sports, known as CAS, upheld doping sanctions on Thursday that will prevent Russia from competing as a nation at international sporting events, albeit shortening the exclusion from 4 years to 2. The band covers the Tokyo Olympics and the 2022 Soccer World Cup in Qatar. Russian athletes will still be able to compete as neutral athletes without Russia's flag, team uniforms, or anthem. However, the court ruled that the name Russia can be displayed on uniforms if the words neutral athlete or neutral team have equal prominence. The ruling will also forbid Russia from applying to host any major international sporting competitions for a 2-year period starting from now. Russia's Olympic Committee president welcomed the CAS decision not to collectively ban Russia's athletes. However, he added that it is unacceptable to bar high-ranking Russian officials like Vladimir Putin from attending the Olympics. The case centers on allegations that the Russian anti-doping agency tampered with a database from the Moscow testing laboratory at the 2014 Winter Olympics in the Russian capital before submitting it to a World Anti-Doping Agency investigators last year. Russia is accused of falsifying the test results of domestic athletes during the Games, swapping their own samples for clean ones submitted by other people. Now, Virat Kohli-led side might have had a 62-run lead entering the third day of the first test, but the side squandered the advantage as the batsman failed to rise to the occasion and Australia made light work on the visitors. India was bundled out for 36 in the second innings, setting a target of 90 runs for Australia to go 1-0 up in the series. This score of 36 is India's lowest ever score in Test cricket. Before this, India's lowest score was 42 in Test cricket against England in 1974. For Australia, Josh Hazlewood scalped 5 wickets, while Pat Cummins took 4 wickets. Now, Pakistan team arrived in Hamilton on Saturday for the second T20I against hosts New Zealand, announced the Pakistan Cricket Board. The team had arrived in the city via Auckland to play the second T20I against the Black Caps that will be played today. According to officials, the team has no scheduled training ahead of Sunday's fixture. New Zealand currently leads the 3-match T20I series after winning the first game. In the first T20I, New Zealand defeated Pakistan by 5 wickets in the first T20I of the series, which was played on Friday. With this news, we have come to the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.